Hi Janice, it's Saturday, October 22nd. I hope you are having a lot of fun or had a lot of fun on your busy Saturday at the band contests and stuff. Good job on your paper getting a 96 on it and whatnot. You have a very strong writing skill, both nonfiction and fiction, and doing like critical analysis of things. And that's something that a lot of people don't have. Like, you and I possess it. I know Nick possesses it to a certain extent. And I know a lot more people who just, they dread writing papers. They hate it. It's the worst part about it. I can remember so many lit courses or history courses when they would announce that there was going to be a paper over a required reading or whatever, and people would freak out because this isn't supposed to be a writing course, and it's because people hate writing. So you hold that skill and you seem to enjoy writing even though you still dread it from time to time. That's called procrastination. You don't want to do it. But you're good at it, and so of course you're going to do well. And I think the teacher was so happy with your paper also because you are a student who could go to a better university but can't right now, and so you're kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to the skills that I'm talking about. And so I think they're excited to have somebody who actually shows a lot of skill, talent, and knowledge. So yeah. The knitting. I'm glad you like the fingerless mitts. Mine are currently been washed and are drying. I had to block them. What colors do you want? Do you like that gray with the really light beach glass blue? Or do you want something that's bolder in the center with more of a neutral color for like the rings? Or do you want it to be all bold colors? What colors do you want? Just let me know, and I should be able to whip those up. I was originally just going to give you the ones I made, but thinking about it, since you don't like itchy things, you probably wouldn't like that, because the wool isn't itchy. Like, they've done a good job at softening it up, but it's still wool, in that you can still tell that you're wearing sheep wool. So you probably wouldn't like that. But I can find yarn, I know yarn in the same weight that you would like, so I'll find something. Just let me know what colors. And remember to measure. The measurements are from that bottom knuckle right here all the way around. Really, it could be from like in between these two knuckles and around if that's easier, because it doesn't really get bigger or smaller. It just has to be the fattest part of your hand so that you can pull it over. Mine, like I said, was around 8.5. If you tell me that yours is anywhere between 8 and 9, I'll probably just make it to fit my hand with a looser bottom so that you can pull it on. If it's past that, I'll have to obviously do it by measurement, and hope for the best. I think your hands are close to mine, so it should be good. Your music writing. It's kind of exciting to hear that you're trying to do some music writing. It can be very frustrating. I know people who went to college to do composition, and they would dread doing certain assignments because it's hard. It's hard to just like drawing is hard because you see something in your head and you got to put it on paper and it inevitably never comes out the same. It's the same way with music writing. It's with everything. It's a creative process. It's going to take time, so be patient. You're going to do a lot of revisions. Just remember to continue saving. You don't have to buy Finale. If you still talk to Chase and he wants to give you Finale still, go for it, but it's not necessary. In fact, Finale can sometimes be a frustrating pain in the butt. The MIDIs they use are great, but that's not completely necessary. For the longest time in high school and through most of college, I used a program called Noteworthy Composer. I'll put a link down below that will give you a link to downloading it. It should still be free. They call it a trial, but it never expires, or at least it's never ever expired for me. It works just almost exactly the same as Finale. I mean, you can write stuff out. It's always scrolling with it, so it just keeps going that way, that way, that way. Or I guess that way, that way, that way. But it's a good program. Like I said, I used it for a long time, and it never did anything wrong for me. In fact, it seemed to at times work better than Finale. Other than that, I mean, I could probably go into some of the writing rules, but really that's not necessary in today's music writing. A couple things to note, and I know you know intervals from piano and whatnot, but if you don't understand what I'm saying, Google and Wikipedia can be your friend. Try to stay away from doing tons of parallel fifths and parallel octaves, because while they're really pretty, and there are some famous composers who utilized that movement to make open sounding chords and whatnot, it can get really monotonous, and it can make something go from really cool to really boring. Um, that's really about it. I can't really think of too many other things. You have a pretty decent base knowledge in music, so it shouldn't be too bad. And like I said, if you are curious about a certain way to write something, or if you're curious about finding a rhythm or something, just use the internet. I know it can be kind of frustrating at times, but you should be able to find something that helps. Also, continue listening to music a lot, and that will help give you ideas and whatnot. And just remember that writing music takes tons and tons of time. There are some composers who can crank out music really, really fast, and I honestly don't know how they do it. Because it takes time. It's going to take a long time to be able to get exactly what you're hearing in your head onto the paper, and sometimes you can't even convey that all the way. You can just kind of get it as close as possible. But that was basically all. I hope your weekend is going well. I look forward to hearing from you at some point. I won't bother you too much about it because I know that weekends get busy with work and doing band things with the high school and just kind of relaxing and recouping. So I'll let you know that I made this, but I'll wait for your reply.